Dishonored is a first-person action stealth game where you play as an assassin and choose how to take down your targets with a high level of different ways to do so. You can use your powers to overwhelm an enemy, your skill with a gun or crossbow to take them down from a distance, or you could use your trusted assassin's blade for those up-close and personal battles. You could also choose not to kill anyone and eliminate your targets just as effectively. The game gives you many opportunities to do this, with sleep darts and a knockout type move, in addition to a number of unique circumstantial methods, such as branding someone with the cursed mark of the heretic. Which still seems pretty brutal, but I guess at the very least he isn't dead. During your assassin missions, it is also entirely up to you how to traverse around the environment. Will you sneak around the back to unplug the electric wall, or climb a building to get over it? Or will you charge right in and slay all those that obstruct your path? You can also talk to certain individuals who will help you do your mission, if you help them, of course. This freedom to play how you want comes partially from the various powers you get, of which they are all useful, but a stealthy and quick teleportation power is clearly the best out of the bunch. This is the power that will allow you to easily traverse the environment, stealth kill enemies, and have the advantage in a fight. The possession ability comes in second, but takes a lot more mana to use. Of course, your style of play may change which powers are useful or not. The concept of the player choosing how to handle a situation may not be an entirely original one, but it's always appreciated to a high degree. It adds a nice touch of replayability to the game, and allows the players to play however they prefer. The story is interesting and exciting, but its ending is a bit of a disappointment, and it is predictable in some areas. It's a tale of power and corruption as well as that of human suffering and despair. The city of Dunwall is crumbling due to an intense plague. The bodies of the dead have begun to outnumber those of the living. The sick and diseased, the violent gangs, and an increasingly oppressive police force have become the city's only denizens. All this is going on while the player is framed for the death of the Empress and the abduction of her daughter. The true conspirator of the Empress's assassination takes power while you and a group of loyalists plot to find the Empress's daughter and crown her as the true leader of the nation. You get help from a mysterious entity named the Outsider, who gives you powers but seems to have no true agenda other than to sit back and watch. Some characters fear and hate the Outsider, while others praise him. Unfortunately, the story ends with many questions concerning him unanswered. The greatest thing about its story, though, isn't the characters or the events, but the setting. Dunwall is a fully realized place, filled with detail and history. Everything about it just seems to have been done right, from the abandoned houses, the empty streets, the crumbling ruins, to the piles of diseased corpses and roaming rats. It seems like a real place. A dark place full of misery, yes, but a real place nonetheless. What's better is that the idea of player choice is present in the setting as well. For instance, if a player kills a high number of people, more rats will appear in that area. With more rats comes more disease, so in addition to tougher resistance from the city's police force, you'll have to deal with an increased presence of plague victims. This is the kind of world that it's easy to get immersed in. Simply put, the game is great. I love its design, its stylized graphics, its setting, and pretty much everything else. It all works well. The only complaint I really have is that there just isn't more of it. It took me around 17 hours to complete, which may sound like enough time, but it left me wanting more from it. I guess that's what multiple playthroughs are for, but it still seems like it should have been longer and had more missions. Apart from that, I would recommend getting the game. It's a worthy experience. This has been Andrew Horning with LOEM Gaming.